The old Earth ship moved slowly through space. Its metal skin looked worn, with patches of repairs visible across its hull. The name Resilience was painted on its side in bold letters. It was not big compared to other ships in Earth's fleet, but it had been chosen for this important job. Captain Dae Kim stood straight as he looked out the main window. Today was a big day for all humans. After years of sending signals into space, someone had finally answered. The Galactic Council had reached out to Earth 3 months ago. Now, they were about to meet face to face. "Captain, we're getting close to the meeting point," said Nav Officer Minho. His fingers moved quickly across the control panel. "The alien ship is already there, waiting." Dae nodded. He had been captain for 8 years, but nothing had prepared him for this moment. He was about to meet beings from another world, representing all of humanity. "How are you feeling?" asked Suk Park, the ship's head engineer. She had been Dae's friend since their training days. If anyone could read his hidden worries, it was her. "Like the weight of Earth is on my shoulders," Dae said with a small smile. Suk patted his arm. "Just remember, they asked to meet us. That means something." The alien ship came into view and everyone on the bridge fell silent. It was huge, at least 4 times bigger than the Resilience. Its surface gleamed like polished metal with no visible seams. Strange blue lights pulsed along its sides in patterns that seemed almost alive. "It's beautiful," whispered Jun, the youngest crew member. Dae had to agree. The alien ship showed power and advanced technology in every line of its design. Next to it, the Resilience must look like an old work truck parked beside a sports car. "They're sending a message," called out Mi Yaon from the communications station. "They're ready for us to come aboard." Dae turned to his team. "Remember your training. Be respectful but stand tall. We represent all of humanity today." The shuttle, bay of the alien ship, was vast and spotless. Dae led his small team, Suk the engineer, Mi Yaon the communications officer, and Dr. Han the xenobiologist, into the unknown. Their footsteps echoed in the empty space. "Where is everyone?" Dr. Han whispered. As if in answer, a door slid open at the far end of the bay. 3 tall figures stepped through. Dae had seen pictures sent during earlier communications, but nothing prepared him for seeing the aliens in person. The beings that walked toward them stood nearly 8 feet tall. Their bodies were covered in scales that shifted colors like oil on water. Each had 6 limbs, 2 legs and 4 arms that moved with strange grace. Their heads were long with large black eyes that didn't blink. "I am High Commander Lyrics of the Valen Confederation," said the alien in the center. Its voice was surprisingly clear, coming from a translator device on its chest. "Welcome aboard the Dominant Light." Dae stepped forward. "Captain Dae Kim of Earth's Defense Force vessel Resilience. We bring greetings from all people of Earth." The alien named Lyrics tilted its head. The scales around its neck shimmered from green to blue. "Follow me to the meeting room," Lyrics said. "The council representatives are waiting." The humans followed the 3 aliens through long hallways that curved gently upward. The walls themselves seemed to glow, providing soft light without any visible lamps. Everything was smooth and perfect, making the humans in their simple uniforms feel rough and out of place. The meeting room had a large round table with chairs of different sizes. 5 more aliens waited there, each with different colored scale patterns. They all turned to stare as the humans entered. "These are the humans," announced Lyrics. "They have achieved faster than light travel only recently." One of the seated aliens, with deep red scales, leaned forward. "Interesting. Such small beings to have come so far." Dae felt his face grow warm, but kept his expression calm. "Size isn't everything, council member. Humans have overcome many challenges to reach the stars." Yes, I'm sure," said the red-scaled alien with a wave of one hand. "We have studied your transmissions. Your species has potential, despite its limitations." The meeting continued, with questions about Earth, human society, and technology. Dae noticed the council members often exchanged looks when the humans described their technology. Sometimes he even caught what seemed like amusement in their strange faces. After 2. Hours of talks, Lyric suggested the human delegation might like to see more of the ship. As they walked through an observation deck with huge windows showing the stars, Lyrics paused beside a window that framed the Resilience floating in space. "Your vessel is quaint," Lyric said, the translator somehow capturing the tone of someone trying to be polite about something they found primitive. Such basic propulsion systems. We expected more from a species that had achieved interstellar travel. Day felt Sook tense beside him. The Resilience was Earth's pride, built after the resource wars when humans had to rethink how they made everything. What Lyrics couldn't know was that beneath its plain exterior lay technology that humans had developed in ways very different from other species. "We work with what we have," Day replied calmly. "Not all civilizations develop along the same technological path." "Indeed," said another council member who had joined them. "This one had pale blue scales and moved with careful steps. Most species focus on bigger engines, stronger weapons, always pushing forward in the same direction." "And humans don't?" asked Day. The blue-scaled alien made a sound that might have been a laugh. "Your ship uses nuclear fusion, yes? We moved beyond that technology 5,000 years ago." Day just smiled. "Every species has its own path." The aliens exchanged amused glances. They clearly believed they were dealing with a simple, backward species, perfect for their plans in this part of space. Later, back on the Resilience, Day called his senior officers to the meeting room. The alien delegation would be visiting their ship tomorrow, and there was much to prepare. "They think we're primitive," said Sook, still angry from the comments about their ship. "Did you see how they looked at us? Like we're children." "Good," said Day. "Let them think that." Dr. Han frowned. "But Captain, shouldn't we show them what we can really do? The adaptive systems, the quantum tech." "No," Day said firmly. Earth Command was clear. "We show only what they expect to see for now. We learn what we can about them, while they learn only what we want them to know about us." Mi-Yeon, who had been quiet until now, spoke up. "I was monitoring their internal communications when their translators glitched for a moment. I caught something about resource-rich planets and integration protocol. I don't think this is just a friendly hello." Day nodded slowly. He had felt it too, the hidden purpose behind the polite questions. The Valen Confederation hadn't reached out to welcome humanity to the galactic community. They were evaluating Earth as a target. "Then we play our part," he said. "Let them see an old ship with basic technology. Let them think humans are no threat." He looked around at his crew, seeing understanding dawn on their faces. "Tomorrow," he continued, "we welcome them aboard our primitive vessel. We smile and accept their barely hidden scorn, and we remember what they don't know." Sook finally smiled, a spark of mischief in her eyes. "That beneath this old ship's skin lies the power they can't imagine." "Exactly," said Day. "Let them scoff at our ancient ship. They'll learn the truth when the time is right." 2 weeks had passed since the first meeting with the Valen Confederation. At first, things seemed to go well. The aliens had toured the Resilience, looking at its simple technology with poorly hidden smiles. Captain Day Kim had played his part perfectly, acting proud of systems that were actually fake covers for the ship's true abilities. But now, everything had changed. Commander Jin Lee stood at the front of the meeting room at Earth Central Command. His face was serious as he pointed to the large screen behind him. The screen showed a map of human space, Earth and its colonies on nearby planets and moons. "The Valen ships have moved here, here, and here," Jin said, pointing to 3 spots on the map. "They now surround our outer colonies at Proxima Centauri, Europa Base, and the Tau Ceti settlement." The 20 people in the room sat in tense silence. They were Earth's top military and science leaders brought together for this emergency. "They've sent us what they call a protection offer," Jin continued. "But we all know what it really is." Admiral Taesung, an older man with gray hair and a lined face, spoke up. "It's a threat. They want control of our planets." "Exactly," said Jin. "They say they'll protect us from dangerous elements in this part of space. In return, we just need to let their ships stay in our system and allow their people to help manage our colonies. Hannah Park, the science director, stood up next. She touched a control and the screen changed to show pictures of the Valen ships. Their ships are much more advanced than what we've shown them of ours, she said. At least, that's what they think. Their weapons use energy beams that could cut through normal ship hulls like paper. They have shields that can stop most conventional attacks. And they have more ships, added Jin. Many more. Our scans have found at least 50 large warships waiting just outside our solar system. The room was quiet as everyone took in this bad news. Then Admiral Tay spoke again. They've only seen what we wanted them to see, he said in his calm, deep voice. The Resilience was chosen for first contact exactly because it looks old and weak. What they see as our weakness is actually our strength. President Min stood up. As the leader of Earth's united government, her word was final. The question, do we show our true technology now or wait longer? If we wait, said Jin, they might attack. They think we're easy to conquer. If we show our hand too soon, argued Hannah, we lose the element of surprise. Dae Kim, who had been called back to Earth for this meeting, finally spoke. We should make one more attempt at peace. Let me take the Resilience back out to meet them. If they truly want war, then they'll get to see what a human ship can really do. President Min looked around the room. All in favor? One by one, hands went up until everyone had voted yes. It was decided. The Resilience would be sent to answer the Valen ultimatum, carrying with it Earth's best-kept secrets. Back on the Resilience, Dae gathered his crew. Many looked worried. News of the Valen protection offer had spread quickly. Listen up, Dae said. Our mission has changed. We're no longer just saying hello to new neighbors. Now we're showing them that humans aren't easy targets. Are we going to fight? Asked June, the young crew member who had called the Valen ship beautiful during first contact. Not if we can help it, Dae answered. But we'll be ready if we have to. Suk Park stepped forward. We've received the upgrade package from Earth Command. It's time to wake up the real systems. For the past 2 weeks, the Resilience had been running on basic power, its true technology sleeping beneath false panels and hidden compartments. Now Suk and her engineering team worked through the night, activating the systems that made the ship special. Hull adaptive materials online, reported a technician. Quantum shield generators ready, said another. Thanatos defense system activated, Suk confirmed, looking at her tablet. The next morning, the Resilience left Earth orbit. To anyone watching, it still looked the same. An old ship with patches and simple engines. Inside, though, it was transformed. Screens that had shown basic information now displayed advanced readings. Walls that had looked like simple metal now pulsed with tiny lights as nanomaterials came to life. Set course for Proxima Centauri, ordered Dae. That's where High Commander Lyrix is waiting with their main fleet. Yes, sir, said Minho from the navigation station. At normal speed, we'll be there in 3 days. Dae smiled slightly. Let's keep up appearances a little longer. Normal speed it is. On the Valen command ship, High Commander Lyrix was confused. The humans had not responded as expected to the protection offer. Instead of quickly agreeing out of fear, they had asked for time to consider. Now, 3 days later, they were sending the same old ship, the Resilience, to meet the Valen fleet. Scan that human vessel again, Lyrix ordered. There must be something we're missing. Science Officer Krell adjusted the sensors. Still showing the same primitive signature, Commander. Nuclear fusion drive, basic hull materials. Their weapons are simple, metal projectiles with a few low-power energy beams. Strange, said Lyrix. They must know they can't fight us. Maybe they're coming to accept our terms. Or they have some trick we can't see, suggested Krell. Lyrix flicked his Ghanaian upper limbs in a gesture of dismissal. Impossible. Our scans see everything. No species could hide technology from our sensors. On the main screen of the Valen ship, the small form of the Resilience grew larger as it approached. Beside it, the Valen ships looked like giants, sleek, Powerful warships with visible weapon ports along their sides. "They're hailing us," reported a Valen officer. "Open communications," ordered Lyrics. He straightened his tall body, preparing to look impressive to the humans. The screen changed to show Captain Dae Kim's face. The human looked calm, which surprised Lyrics. "Shouldn't he be scared?" "High Commander." "Lyrics," said Dae. "We've considered your offer of protection." Lyrics's scales shifted to a confident purple color. "And you've come to accept, of course. A wise decision." "Actually," said Dae, "we have a counter-proposal." Lyrics blinked his large, black eyes. "Counter-proposal? Your species is in no position to make counter-proposals." "I think you'll want to hear this one," Dae replied. Then, to everyone's shock, he spoke in perfect Valen language, something that should have been impossible for humans to learn so quickly. "Especially since you're currently within range of our Thanatos system." Lyrics froze. How could this human speak their language? The translator devices hadn't even activated. Before he could respond, one of his officers called out in alarm. "Commander, the human ship is changing." On the screen behind Dae's face, Lyrics could see the bridge of the Resilience. What had looked like simple walls were now shifting, revealing new panels and systems that hadn't been visible before. At the same time, the Valen sensors began showing new readings from the human ship. What had appeared to be a weak, outdated vessel was suddenly revealing energy signatures unlike anything the Valen had ever seen. "Impossible," breathed Krell, staring at the readings. "Their ship is waking up." On the screen, Dae Kim smiled. It wasn't a friendly smile. "Now," he said, still in perfect Valen language, "let's talk about that protection offer. I think you'll find that humans don't need protection. But maybe you do." High Commander Lyrics could not believe what was happening. The small human ship that had seemed so weak was changing before his eyes. Panels on its hull slid open to reveal hidden systems. The dull metal surface now rippled like water as tiny machines, too small to see individually, moved across it. "What is this?" Lyrics demanded, his scales flashing red with alarm. "Explain." On the screen, Captain Dae Kim remained calm. "This is the real Resilience," he said. "What you saw before was just its sleeping state." Science Officer Krell stared at the sensor readings in disbelief. "Commander, their energy signature has changed completely. I've never seen anything like it." "Impossible," hissed Lyrics. "Our scans would have detected any hidden technology." "Not if it wasn't active," said Dae. "And not if it works in ways your sensors aren't designed to detect." Lyrics felt a new feeling, fear. His species, the Valen, had explored space for thousands of years. They had met and conquered many alien civilizations. Always the Valen had the better technology. Always they had won. But something about this situation felt different. "What do you want?" Lyrics asked, trying to sound strong. "Simple," replied Dae. "Take your ships and leave human space. We want peaceful relations with the Galactic Council, but we will not be colonized or controlled." Lyrics' second-in-command, Subcommander Traz, whispered to him. "Commander, they are bluffing. One small ship cannot stand against our fleet. We have 20 warships here." Lyrics nodded. The human ship, even with its surprise changes, was still just one vessel, and it was small compared to the Valen cruisers. "Captain Kim," said Lyrics, his voice stronger now, "your ship is interesting, but it changes nothing. You are still outnumbered and outgunned. Accept our protection or face the consequences." Dee sighed, looking genuinely sad. "I was hoping for a peaceful solution." He turned to someone off-screen. "Suk, show them a small demonstration, level 1 only." On the Resilience, Engineer Suk. Park nodded and tapped her control panel. "Level 1 demonstration, aye, Captain. Targeting empty space 5 kilometers off their lead ship." The Resilience didn't seem to fire anything. There was no beam of light, no visible projectile. But suddenly, a small area of space 5 kilometers from the Valen command ship changed. It was as if a bubble of different reality had appeared. Inside this bubble, space itself seemed to fold and twist. What was that? Gasped Traz. A small example of how humans approach technology, said Day through the still open channel. We call it space folding. That was the lowest setting, by the way. Krell was frantically checking readings. It created a localized distortion in space-time, Commander. This technology is far beyond what we thought possible for their species. Lyrix felt his hearts beating faster. The humans had technology that worked on principles the Valen didn't understand, but he couldn't show weakness in front of the fleet. You've made your point, Captain, said Lyrix. Your ship has some interesting tricks, but my orders stand. Human worlds will accept Valen protection. Day shook his head. I don't think you understand yet. The Resilience isn't special. It's just one of our older ships that we modified to look even older for first contact. Every human colony has defenses based on the same principles. You're lying, said Lyrix, but doubt had crept into his voice. Am I? Asked Day. Sook, please. Connect to Europa-based defense systems. Show them a live feed. The screen split to show a new image, a view of Jupiter's moon Europa, where humans had built their first off-Earth colony. Around the icy moon, small platforms that had been invisible suddenly appeared, their surfaces rippling with the same technology as the Resilience. Those platforms were there when your ships arrived in our system, said Day. You didn't see them because we didn't want you to. Every human world has similar defenses. Lyrix felt trapped. If the human was telling the truth, the Valen fleet could be in serious danger, but he couldn't retreat without losing face. Enough talk, he said. You leave me no choice. He turned to his weapons officer. Target their ship. Full power. The Valen command ship's main weapon powered up. A bright beam of energy shot out, heading straight for the Resilience. Everyone on the Valen bridge expected to see the human ship explode or at least show damage. Instead, something strange happened. As the energy beam reached the Resilience, it seemed to bend around the ship like water flowing around a rock. Then the energy simply vanished. Direct hit, called the weapons officer, then confused. No damage? On the screen, Day looked disappointed. So that's your answer. Attack first, talk later. Fire again, ordered Lyrix. All ships open fire. 20 Valen warships fired their weapons at the single human vessel. Beams of energy and explosive projectiles raced through space. Again, they either bent around the Resilience or disappeared on contact with its hull. The hull is absorbing the energy, reported Krell in amazement. It's some kind of adaptive material we've never seen before. Dee waited until the barrage stopped. Are you finished? He asked quietly. Lyrix had no response. How could one small ship survive an attack from 20 warships without a scratch? Now it's our turn, said Day. Mion, open a channel to all Valen ships. Communications Officer Mion nodded. Channel open, Captain. Day spoke clearly, his words now reaching all Valen ships. This is Captain Day Kim of Earth. We did not come here to fight. We came to talk, but you have made your intentions clear. He paused, then said, We will now demonstrate our defensive capabilities. Be advised that we will target your weapon systems only. We do not wish to harm your crews. Before Lyrix could respond, the Resilience fired. But unlike the Valen weapons, there were no energy beams. Instead, small silver objects, each no bigger than a human hand, shot out from the ship in all directions. What are those? Traz asked, pointing at the objects on the screen. The answer came seconds later when the objects attached themselves to each Valen ship. Immediately, warning lights flashed across the Valen command bridge. Weapon systems offline, reported an officer in panic. Engines at minimal power. Something is in our computers. Similar reports came in from all 20 ships. None could fire weapons or move at more than very slow speed. On the screen, Day's expression was serious. Those are what we call smart disablers. They're adaptive machines that target specific systems without causing harm to the ship or crew. Your weapons and main engines will remain offline until we remove the disablers. Lyrix stared at the human. Captain. In one move, without harming anyone, the humans had disabled an entire battle fleet. Who are you people? He asked quietly. Just humans, replied Day. a species that took a different path. While the Valen focused on energy weapons and brute force, we developed adaptive materials and smart machines too small to see. Krell had been studying the readings from the disabler attached to their ship. He turned to Lyrix, his scales pale with shock. "Commander," he said, "these devices are made of billions of microscopic machines working together. Each one can change its function as needed. Our science theorized such technology but considered it impossible to build." Lyrix finally understood. The Valen had always seen technology as things getting bigger and more powerful. Humans had gone in the opposite direction, making things smaller and smarter. "Captain Kim," said Lyrix, his voice now respectful, "it seems we have misjudged your species." "Yes," agreed Day. "You have. Now shall we talk about that protection offer again? Or would you prefer to discuss a real peace between equals?" Silence filled the Valen command ship's bridge. High Commander Lyrix stared at the screen where Captain Day Kim waited patiently. 20 Valen warships, the pride of their fleet, now floated helplessly in space, disabled by tiny machines from one human vessel. "Commander," whispered Subcommander Traz, "what do we do?" Before Lyrix could answer, a new alert sounded. Science Officer Krell looked at his screen with wide eyes. "Commander, more ships approaching fast. They appear to be human vessels." Lyrix felt a chill run through his body. If one human ship could disable 20 of theirs, what could a fleet do? "How many?" he asked, his voice tight. 3 ships, replied Krell. "Similar size to the Resilience." On the communication screen, Day smiled. "Don't worry, High Commander. Those are not warships. They're diplomatic vessels bringing representatives from Earth Central Command. We hope to solve this peacefully, but we came prepared for either outcome." Lyrix's mind raced. The situation was worse than he had imagined. The humans had not only hidden technology but had planned for this confrontation carefully. They had let the Valen believe they were weak, all while positioning their real forces. "Captain Kim," said Lyrix, trying to keep his voice steady, "perhaps we should reconsider our position." "I'm glad to hear that," Day replied. "But first there's something you should know." Lyrix tensed, wondering what new surprise was coming. "The smart disablers on your ships," Day continued, "are set to detach in 30 minutes. Your systems will come back online slowly after that. This is a show of good faith on our part." Lyrix was confused. "You're releasing our ships? Why?" "Because humans don't want war," said Day simply. "We want peace between equals. We disabled your weapons to show we can protect ourselves, not to start a fight." As they spoke, the 3 new human ships arrived. They looked similar to the Resilience, but were painted in white and blue colors instead of gray. Each had the Earth symbol, a circle with lines showing the continents on its side. "Captain," said Minho from the Resilience's navigation station, "the diplomatic team is ready to transfer to our ship." Day nodded. "Prepare the meeting room." 15 minutes later, the Resilience's meeting room held an unusual gathering. On one side sat Day, Sook, and 3 new humans in formal blue uniforms with gold trim. On the other side sat Lyrix, Krell, and 2 other Valen officers who had come over from the command ship. Admiral Tae Sung, the older human with gray hair, who had been at the Earth Central Command meeting, led the human diplomatic team. His face was serious as he looked at the Valen. "High Commander," he said, "I am Admiral Tae Sung of Earth Defense Force. I come with the authority to negotiate a new agreement between our peoples." Lyrix had regained some of his confidence now that he was face to face with the humans. "And if we choose not to negotiate," Admiral Tae smiled slightly, "then you'll return to your ships when they come back online, and you'll leave human space. What happens after that depends on your leaders." "Our leaders will not accept defeat," said Lyrix stiffly. "This isn't about defeat," said a human woman next to the Admiral. Her name tag read, Director Hannah Park. "This is about understanding. Your people explored space one way. Humans took a different path." Science Officer Krell, who had been quiet until now, spoke up. "How did you develop such technology? The smart machines, the adaptive materials. Our scientists said such things were far in the future." Sook Park smiled. Necessity. 200 years ago, humans fought terrible wars over dwindling resources. We nearly destroyed ourselves. When it was over, we couldn't build big ships or powerful weapons anymore. We didn't have the materials. So we had to think differently. We focused on making things smaller and smarter instead of bigger and stronger, added Day. We developed machines smaller than a human cell that could work together by the billions. We created materials that can change their properties as needed. Krell's eyes showed his excitement. The science is fascinating. Your approach to technology is completely different from any species we've encountered. While Krell and Suk began discussing technical details, Lyrix turned to Admiral Tay. So what happens now? The Valen commander asked. Now we talk about real cooperation, said the Admiral. Not protection where one side controls the other, but true partnership. As they spoke, the 30 minutes passed. On the Valen ships, the smart disablers detached as promised. Systems began coming back online. The Valen officers in the meeting room received confirmation that their weapons were working again. Lyric studied the humans carefully. They had disabled his fleet and could have destroyed it. Instead, they had given control back to the Valen, showing both strength and restraint. Why didn't you just destroy us? Lyric asked suddenly. You had the power. Admiral Tay's face showed surprise. That's not how humans solve problems anymore. We learned from our past. Destroying potential friends makes no sense. The meeting continued for hours as both sides discussed terms for a new relationship. As they talked, more information about human technology was shared. Krell was amazed to learn that the Resilience could change not just its surface, but its entire internal structure as needed. The whole ship is made of smart materials, explained Suk. It can heal damage, change shape, even create new tools inside itself if needed. And your weapons? Asked Lyrics. The space folding we saw? Just one of many approaches, said Admiral Tay. We don't focus on making things explode. We prefer systems that can disable, contain, or redirect. By the end of the meeting, a preliminary agreement had been reached. The Valen would leave human space but would return in 1 month with representatives from the Galactic Council for proper diplomatic relations. Both sides would share some technological knowledge as a sign of good faith. As the Valen officers prepared to return to their ship, Lyrics approached Day privately. Captain Kim, he said, I must ask. The Resilience, you said it was one of your older ships. What do your newest ships look like? Day smiled. I can't tell you that, High Commander, but I can tell you that the Resilience was chosen for first contact precisely because it's more conventional in design than our newer vessels. Lyrix's scales shifted to a blue-green color of understanding. So we still haven't seen everything humans can do. Not even close, replied Day. But hopefully, as friends rather than enemies, you'll learn more in time. After the Valen officers left, Day joined Admiral Tay on the Resilience's observation deck. Together they watched as the Valen fleet moved away, heading toward the edge of the solar system. Do you think they'll honor the agreement? Day asked. Admiral Tay nodded slowly. I think they will. They're proud, but not foolish, and I saw genuine, scientific curiosity in their science officers' eyes. Sometimes that's a better foundation for peace than fear. And if they don't honor it, asked Day, then they'll learn that what they saw today was just a small demonstration of human ingenuity, said the Admiral. But I prefer the path of friendship. Day looked out at the stars. The Valen ships were now just small points of light in the distance. So do I, he said quietly. So do I. 1 month after the confrontation between the human ship Resilience and the Valen fleet, a new meeting was set to take place. This time, the location was neutral ground, a large space station orbiting Jupiter. The station, called Unity Point, had been built quickly using human smart material technology to serve as a place where different species could meet as equals. Captain Day Kim stood by a large window, watching as ships arrived. The Valen vessels were easy to spot, large and gleaming with their distinctive blue lights. But this time they came not as conquerors but as invited guests. And they were not alone. 5 different alien ships so far, said Suk Park, who stood beside Day. The Galactic Council must be taking this meeting seriously. Day nodded. Word had spread quickly about how one small human ship had disabled an entire Valen battle fleet without firing a single destructive shot. Now representatives from many alien civilizations wanted to meet these humans with their strange technology. Captain Kim, called a voice behind them. Day turned to see High Commander Larix approaching. The tall alien moved differently now, his posture no longer showing the arrogance it once had. High Commander, Day greeted him with a small bow. Welcome to Unity Point. An impressive structure, said Larix, looking around at the stations, smooth walls that seemed to flow like liquid while maintaining their shape. Built in just 3 weeks, I'm told. When smart materials can reshape themselves and grow as needed, construction becomes much faster, explained Suk. Larix's scales shifted to a color that Day had learned meant thoughtfulness. We have much to learn from each other, the alien admitted. Together they walked to the main meeting chamber where representatives from Earth and 5 alien civilizations gathered around a large round table. Admiral Tae Sung led the human delegation, while Larix represented the Valen Confederation. The other aliens were new to the humans, some with tentacles, others with multiple eyes, each unique in appearance. Welcome to Unity Point, began Admiral Tae. We gathered today to establish new relations between Earth and the Galactic Council. 1 month ago, there was a misunderstanding that could have led to conflict. Today, we begin a path of cooperation. An alien with dark red skin and 4 arms spoke next. I am Supreme Delegate Zorix of the Galactic Council. For 10,000 years, our organization has maintained peace among spacefaring civilizations. We admit we were surprised by humanity's technological development. Surprised is an understatement, rumbled another alien, this one looking like a large insect with gleaming eyes. The Valen battle fleet has never been defeated before. There was no defeat, said Larix quickly. There was a demonstration, followed by negotiation between equals. Admiral Tae nodded in agreement. Humans don't seek to defeat anyone. We seek understanding. The meeting continued as each side shared information. The aliens explained the structure of the Galactic Council, how it governed relations between different species, settled disputes, and managed trade. The humans described Earth's history and how it had shaped their approach to technology. 200 years ago, explained Dr. Han, who had joined the diplomatic team, humans nearly destroyed themselves fighting over the last oil, metals, and clean water. When the resource wars ended, our planet was damaged and many materials were scarce. So you could not build large ships or powerful weapons, said the insect-like alien, whose name was Gizict. Exactly, said Dr. Han. We had to find a different way. Instead of using rare materials to build big things, we developed tiny machines that could work together. Instead of brute force, we created smart systems that could adapt and change. Science Officer Krell, who had become fascinated by human technology, added, the Valen approach has always been to make engines bigger, weapons more powerful. Humans went in the opposite direction, making things smaller, smarter, and interconnected. Different paths of evolution, said Supreme Delegate Zorix thoughtfully. This is why the Council exists, to bring together different perspectives. As the meeting progressed, plans were made for cultural and technological exchanges. Humans would be granted membership in the Galactic Council, and alien representatives would be welcomed on Earth. Most importantly, all sides agreed to respect the independence of human worlds. Later, during a break in the meetings, Day found himself talking with Larix at the refreshment table. The Valen commander seemed troubled. Something bothers you, High Commander? Asked Day. Larix's scales rippled with colors that showed uncertainty. Captain Kim, there is something I must ask. When we first met, my people dismissed yours as primitive. We were wrong, at great potential cost. How many other species have we misjudged? Day considered the question carefully. Perhaps that is something the Valen should think about. Every civilization follows its own path. Looking different doesn't mean being inferior. A lesson we are learning, admitted Lyrics. Your ship, the Resilience, it taught us humility. Sometimes that's the most important lesson, said Dee with a smile. The final day of the conference brought a moment that would be remembered in human history. On the main viewing platform of Unity Point, representatives from Earth and 5 alien civilizations signed the Jupiter Accords, a treaty recognizing Earth as a full member of the Galactic Council and establishing principles for peaceful cooperation. Admiral Tay signed for Earth. The station's large windows showed a spectacular view of Jupiter's swirling clouds, with ships from 6 different worlds floating in space nearby. Among them was the Resilience, looking small and unassuming compared to the larger alien vessels. A historic moment, said Director Hannah Park, who stood beside Day watching the ceremony. From first contact to Galactic Council membership in less than 2 months. The Resilience helped speed things up, said Day with a small smile. After the ceremony, the crew of the Resilience gathered in their ship's lounge. Though they would soon return to Earth as heroes, this quiet moment was just for them. To the old Resilience, said Day, raising a glass. The ship they thought was ancient and harmless. To humanity's different path, added Sook, raising her own glass. Miyon, who had been quiet through much of the adventure, spoke up. Do you think they understand yet? The aliens, I mean. Understand what? Asked Day. That it wasn't just our technology that made the difference, said Miyon. It was how we think. After nearly destroying ourselves, humans learned to value cooperation over conquest, adaptation over force. Day looked around at his crew, the people who had faced an alien fleet without firing a shot in anger, who had shown strength through restraint rather than destruction. Some of them understand, he said. The rest will learn in time. That's what new friends do. They learn from each other. Through the lounge window, they could see Earth shining as a bright blue dot in the distance. Their home world was now known to the galaxy not as an easy target, but as a place of surprising innovation and unexpected wisdom. To new beginnings, said Day, raising his glass once more. To new beginnings, echoed his crew, and aboard the Valen ship departing Jupiter, High Commander Lyrics watched the small, unassuming human vessel that had changed his understanding of the universe. He had come to conquer and had left as an ally, all because he had scoffed at an ancient ship, until he realized just how dangerous it was. Not dangerous because it could destroy, but dangerous because it could change everything.